Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to you. Good morning, everyone. I keep saying this. I feel like we haven't spent so much time together these last few months, but I want to greet you this morning and tell you how glad I am to be here with all of you. Welcome, 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 welcome. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, December 20th, 5 days to Christmas 2023. And I want to welcome you on behalf of Purpose Journey Counseling LLC Reloaded. It is still 2023, barely, but it's still 2023. So we're still reloaded for this year. And I want to say good morning to you. I want to greet you. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. It is 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want to say welcome, 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 greetings, greetings. My name is Dr. Natatu North, and I am the owner and therapist of Purpose Journey Counseling LLC, which is located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So again, it is 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, December 20th. And we want to welcome you, but whether you're catching us at 7:15 or later in the day, later in the week, later in the month, or even later in the year, we definitely appreciate you joining us. But right now at 7:15 a.m., we are live on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, and the YouTube link for this broadcast is posted on Instagram. So we ask that you just take a few moments to like our pages on your preferred social media platform. Please follow us also on your preferred social media platform. We do ask that everyone subscribe to our YouTube channel, Purpose Journey Counseling. Even if you don't watch us on YouTube, it's okay. But if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, we would greatly appreciate it. And let's also share this broadcast and interact and engage in the comments section. There's so much power in communication, so much power in the support that we can give each other. So we would greatly appreciate if you would do those things for us on this morning or whenever you're catching this. So if you were just scrolling, don't keep scrolling. Let's stop. We're not going to be on here long. But on Wednesdays, we do something very, very pivotal. So we want to take some time for it. Before we go too much further, though, I do like to share these numbers to make sure everyone has them. The first is for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. This number is 24/7. So please, if you do not have this number stored in your phone, please make sure you have it. It's a very good resource to have, a very good resource to use. And it's not just on certain people to have this resource. We all want to make sure we have this resource available. So please make sure you have it stored in your phone if not already. The second number is for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number is 988. Again, that's 988. This number is 24/7 also, but you can also text this number. This number is very easy to remember. Either number you want to use. Please, again, store this in your phone. Just make sure you have it available. You may need it one time. Someone else may need it sometime. It's good to just know what to do, especially in the time of a crisis. A lot of times it's hard to think in a crisis. It's hard to remember what you know in a crisis, what you know to do in a crisis. So having this information available is definitely useful. So thank you so much for taking just a moment to do that on this morning. Now, again, welcome. I've been saying it all day. I'm just grateful you're here. But let's welcome you. But also on Wednesday. So on Wednesdays for the last month, and then so November and December, on the first and third Wednesday of the month, we have been doing what we have coined the term Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday. What is Wellness Wednesday? Well, Wellness Wednesday is when we take a moment, just a few moments, excuse me, to actually talk about a topic, something that we can ponder on, something that we can kind of take with us, some thoughts, some things to maybe even continue thinking about even after the short time that we're together on Wednesday. But some very, very important topics, some very thought-provoking topics, some ideas and thoughts that should definitely have us, kind of thinking about how to navigate our spaces that we're in, how to live life better. Wednesdays can be rough. Wednesdays can be a great day. Sometimes it's the middle part of the week. But sometimes, we get in kind of a slump on Wednesday. So we want to just make sure we're well on Wednesday and actually, just taking the time to think about some things. So today, this last actually Wellness Wednesday, because this is the third Wednesday of December. And stay tuned. We'll have some things coming in 2024, be it the Lord's will. But today we want to talk about the power of transparency. The power of transparency. And the transparency that we are going to be talking about this morning is the transparency that we as people, the transparency that we can show. So when you think about transparency, being transparent in our communication, transparent in our relationships, it's a major, major concept. Transparency can be scary because when I think of transparency, I think of vulnerability, I think of honesty, I think of openness, I think of not trying to hide anything. It's actually laying it bare. And let's face it, sometimes being transparent in certain situations can be detrimental. Sometimes people can't handle our transparency. And sometimes, if we're completely honest and transparent and open and candid in our responses and our interactions with people, it can turn into a very, let's just say, unhealthy interaction. Sometimes it's hurtful to other people, and sometimes it's just not the best idea. Sometimes if I was being fully transparent, sometimes transparency is not warranted. So we want to just state that up front as our disclaimer. We understand that sometimes it's just not warranted. Sometimes it's not safe. But transparency is actually is very, very therapeutic. To be open, to be honest, to not hide what you're really thinking, what you're feeling, how you're processing a certain topic or a certain situation, or just in general about your life. One of the key things about transparency, though, is being very, very clear that transparency with everyone, as we just said, is not always safe. Sometimes it's not good to be vulnerable. It's not good to be vulnerable with everybody. Let's be clear on that. But in healthy situations, transparency allows us the opportunity to really heal from some things. It allows us the opportunity to be honest with ourselves, to see ourselves for who we really are, to deal with some of the things that we really need to deal with, like not sweeping them under the rug, not trying to forget about it, not trying to pretend, not trying to mask. It allows us to really just, again, like I said, lay it bare. And laying it bare allows it to be exposed. And sometimes exposing things can be scary because, again, who's your audience? Who are we talking to? What's the purpose of the transparency? Could it be harmful? Being able to ask yourself these questions are definitely necessary. However, when we're able to be honest with ourselves first, so at least being transparent with us, and I'm saying it, being transparent with yourself, because sometimes we lie to ourselves about how we're thinking, how we're feeling, how we're processing or not processing certain situations, certain things. We're not dealing with things, or we haven't dealt with things, or something may be bothering us, but we really haven't acknowledged that it actually bothers us, or we're not being open about how we feel about this situation, or we're not being completely honest about what we want in life. We're not even sometimes not even being transparent with ourselves about what we want out of life. We're, sugarcoating things, or just kind of putting it on the back burner, thinking about it for later, or just saying, you know what, that's just not something that I'm taking the time to do. But I want to encourage you this morning to first start with being transparent with yourself. Sometimes we think we're doing it. Like, I know me. I know who I am. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. But to be completely transparent, sometimes we really have no clue. There are times where we're so caught up in everything else, and just, sometimes just the responsibilities of life and handling our business. It's not that we're not doing those things, but being able to be honest with us actually helps us to grow. To be able to be clear and open about who we are, what we're dealing with, at least with ourselves first. Acknowledging, not to make ourselves feel bad, but to actually just to help us to be able to show that honesty with ourselves is definitely healing. It's definitely something that helps us progress in life. And it's interesting too, because as we, are in safe spaces, again, my disclaimer is safe spaces where we can be transparent. That same transparency that we use with ourselves actually ends up being helpful to other people. It's just a blessing. And I've had this experience just lately. So this is what kind of inspired this, to where other people were able to self-reflect and other people were able to find themselves in situations based off of transparency. Being honest, it helps you to be more relatable, people to understand that you're not the only one who has struggled with this, or you're not the only one who has been concerned about that. It allows us to be connected. It shows our humanity and shows how we're all a work in progress, and how no one has arrived and no one is just at this position in life where they've got it all together. They got it all figured out, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you think you've been living right, or whatever the situation may be. It just proves that we all are on a journey. We are all on a journey, and yes, there's a purpose journey. There's a purpose to our journeys, but we're on a journey, and it's a constant journey until the journey ends. So we could talk a lot more about transparency, but I wanted to leave it kind of here for our Wellness Wednesday, especially for the end of the year. It's not about resolutions. No, if you make resolutions, that's totally fine, but that's not what this is about. But it's about, as we embark upon, if the Lord allows us to see January 1st, 2024, as we get ready to, we're on the cusp of a new year, thinking about what are some things you need to be honest with yourself about. Again, I'm not telling you to go start telling everybody your business and just being transparent and open with everybody. I'm not suggesting that. Safe spaces, safe spaces, safe spaces. However, what do you need to be transparent with yourself about? What do you need to be open and vulnerable with you? Yeah, being vulnerable with yourself and saying, okay, I'm going to sit here for a second and I'm going to allow myself to actually feel something. I'm going to allow myself to think about something that maybe I've tried not to think about for a long time, but it's something that I really need to process with myself. And as I'm able to do that with me, it makes me better, because then I'm letting myself in on what's really going on internally. Because a lot of the things we deal with, we deal with stuff on the outside, on the external. We deal with people. We deal with all of these things. How do we look? We have to present a certain way everywhere we go. We have to put on a certain clothing, all these different things. But it's what's going on the inside that even affects the external. But that's the part sometimes we neglect to really deal with. So there's so much power in transparency, but I want to encourage each and every one of you to work on that transparency with yourself. What are some things you need to just kind of process for yourself, being honest with yourself about, and kind of sitting in that and allowing yourself to be vulnerable with you. So that's our Wellness Wednesday for today. So let's take that and kind of ponder on that for the remainder of the year. We don't have much time left. It's the 20th. We've got 11 days. 11 days, that's it. So let's think about that as we're continuing this journey and ending our journey through 2023. So I'm really, really excited about what is going on, and I want to show you all something. So we do have our monthly podcast, #FromAChristian, #FromATherapist, with Dr. Natatu, which we typically do on the first Sunday of the month. We've had some scheduling changes, but we wanted to present a special Christmas Eve podcast on Sunday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Yes, Christmas Eve at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called A Christmas Story. This is our 16th episode of our podcast, and it's called A Christmas Story with special guests. I'm not telling you anything else about it, but join us. Whatever your activities, like I said before, whatever you do on Christmas Eve, invite your family. It's for the family. You could just watch us on our social media platforms. If I could take this down for just a second, as you see, we're going to be on Facebook, YouTube. The link will be posted on Instagram, and will be on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well. So please, 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 please plan to join us on Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. Y'all, I can't believe we're almost at Christmas, but Christmas Eve for a Christmas story with special guests. So there's so much in the works. I'm really, really excited. Like I said, if the Lord allows me to see it, I'm excited about the year 2024. Going to be great things going on. And some things will be shifting a bit. And just stay tuned. Stay tuned for new schedules. Just some new things. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. Some new things for 2024. So we're definitely grateful for that. So again, we thank you so much for joining us for our Wellness Wednesday. We are just very, very grateful for you on this morning. And be it the Lord's will. I just love it because, if the Lord is so gracious. We will see you on Christmas Eve, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our podcast, A Christmas Story, with our special guests on Christmas Eve. So we thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful, well Wednesday, and blessings and love to each